And then like he's telling me a story. He's like, hey, you know, I just got out of jail like 3 weeks ago, and telling me the whole story, and was like, yeah, you know, I killed my stepdad. I'm like, what? Hey YouTube, it's your girl, came back with another video. So in today's video, I'm sure you guys can tell by the title, it's kind of clickbait, but it's not really clickbait because it really did happen. I don't know if the story is as juicy as the title makes it seem. Disclaimer, because we're real here on the channel, but it's the truth. Yeah, we're gonna call it the killer tried to talk to me. So I don't know if you guys, I'm hoping this story is gonna be like short, sweet, to the point, but you know, I'm gonna try to give you guys details. I did a couple, sorry, hairs right up here. I did a couple videos of like Kim After Dark. Like the concept was cool, but I on my part, I think the execution could have been a little bit better. I was in my red chair. So maybe I'll get back into doing more story times, because you know, I've been watching Constance the Pod. If you guys haven't checked her out, make sure you guys check her out. I'm gonna put her like her page right up here. But she's been doing like podcasts and like asking people to give like advice, and then I was, you know, I reached out. I was like, you know, why don't you tell people why you're qualified essentially to give advice? And she's like, oh, you know, I've been through a lot. And then that made me remember, like, sitting in my car taking notes on my phone. I'm like, yo, I've been through a lot. Like, I told you guys like 2 stories. I don't want to say like they were wild, but you know, I guess they were wild. I'm not like a wild person, but like I just feel, sorry, I'm rambling. Just to give you guys a little backstory on me. Like, I've been through a lot. I don't judge anyone. I don't judge I'll go anywhere. I have another story for you guys. Maybe I'll do another video after this. But in this story, let me get to the point. Yeah, the killer did try to talk to me. So in 2017, I mentioned to you guys in one of those videos, well, both of those videos, that 2017 was like my year. It was like the year of Kim. We're gonna call it that. I was going out by myself. I wouldn't dare do that today because the world is crazier. But I used to go out by myself because I had just gotten out of like a really long relationship, and I was like, you know what? Let me just ended up not like a relationship, but a situationship right after that. Yes. So I was like, you know, let me just go out, be free, like find myself. Because one of the things that I don't want to say like people don't really like talk about, but like I think in order to welcome what you really want in your life, you have to know who you are, and you have to deal with a lot of your past trauma. So I dealt with my past trauma, and I was, for lack of a better word, I was out finding myself. I was just really just making friends. Like, there were a lot of guys who were really upset with me because they wanted to talk to me and I didn't want to talk to them. One of the guys, sorry, this is like all over the place, was like an artist, and like I didn't understand, like he couldn't grasp the concept of me just wanting to be friends with a guy. Like, the majority of my friends are guys. It's just who I click with, and we're strictly platonic guy friends. I've never seen any of them other than just like a friend. So when I told him like, hey, you know, you're just gonna be a friend, like he couldn't grasp the concept. One of the guys that I met around this time, like I said, was the killer. So there's this club in Philly. I'm not going to tell you the type of club that it is because it's like the only kind that it is, and I don't want people to understand and know the place that I'm referring to. So me and my little sister, we go there, and it's like, first of all, it used to be so much better. It used to have like just like a Caribbean day or night, one never knows. It used to have just like a Caribbean night, and like now it's just like more like American music, and I like every kind of music. Let me just put that out there. Sorry that I'm rambling. Hopefully you guys can stay with me. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of backstory, because I was told in those other 2 story times that I told that having a little bit of backstory gave more context to the story. If that makes any context, not text. Context to the story. So I'm just trying to make sure I cover all my bases. So, all right. So me and my sister, we go there, and it's just, it feels like it's, I don't know if this is the right term, this is just what comes to mind. It feels like a free-for-all. Like, there are so many guys that are trying to talk to us. It's to the point where we're annoyed and we're just ready to go home. So after being there for, when I say like, and I get hit on like regularly, like when I go out, but like this was a bit like, and I'm old and old and mature and able to handle it, but this was even like a bit much. I want to say it was like 20 guys. Like every time we turned one down, another one was popping up. I felt like, I don't know, it was very, very overwhelming. So we get outside and we're standing there, and you know, there's one or two guys who seem like they're really cool, like they're not like being pushy. And again, 2017, I'm just there to make friends. And this one guy is talking to my sister and the other guy is talking to me, and like, I don't judge anybody. I am very opinionated, but I'm not judgmental. I feel as though you never know what someone's been through. You never want to judge them based on their past. So the guy is talking to me, and it's like, okay, this is the first meeting. And you're like telling me everything. Oh, you know, I just recently got out of jail. I'm like, oh, you know, that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes people get wrongfully accused for doing things they didn't do. And I mean, like, he's just a little bit too open, okay? I was talking to a friend tonight, right? Just to segue a little bit from the story. I was talking to a friend tonight, and I was telling her, I'm like, you know, I don't really like show emotion. I don't know if it's a good thing, a bad thing, probably a defense mechanism, but I don't really show emotion. This guy was just like really, really emotional. And then like he's telling me the story. He's like, hey, you know, I just got out of jail like 3 weeks ago, and telling me the whole story, and was like, yeah, you know, I killed my stepdad. I'm like, what? Now I got a great poker face, right? When I'm ready. So I just like played off like, oh yeah, you know, things happen, you never know. And not to say like all the meanwhile I'm still okay with him, but I'm not, like, I'm the hindsight kind of person, right? So I'm not really processing what he just said. I process it when I go home, which I'm going to tell you guys my thought process when I get to that point. But I'm like, he's telling me, and I'm like, you know what, thinking to myself, well, maybe it could have been a situation. Maybe his stepdad attacked him. Maybe attacked his mom. Maybe it was a self-defense. Like, I have a way of, what I've been told it's called in therapy is like, you bargain, like you make excuses for why someone does what they do. It's just a part of me. So I'm like telling myself, well, yeah, this is the reason why he did this. This is the reason why he did that. And you know, it could have been self-defense. But the whole time we're there and we're trying to leave, like, I don't want to say like he doesn't want us to leave, but like, not in a creepy way. And again, I'm a hindsight type of person, so I don't really think about it until like after the fact. So we leave. I feel as though, you know what the funny thing is? My sister, she had the same issue, and I'm going to get into, like, that's pretty much the story, but I'm going to get into, like, what happened, like, after we left, like, the club, and, like, we go home, and weeks later, and one of the guys who tried to talk to her was, like, almost twice her age, and wasn't getting the, it's off topic, but it's on topic, I'm going to get to that, but he wasn't really getting that, she didn't want to be bothered with him anymore. Like, it wasn't clicking. And the funny thing is, the guy the killer, is what we're gonna call him, wasn't getting that I didn't want to talk to him anymore. Like, at first it was like cool and it was like casual, but the more I sat and thought about it, I'm like, I'm not judging anybody, but I know when you go through something traumatic, especially something as traumatic as taking someone's life, it's going to take a toll on who you end up being. That's just my personal opinion. Whether it be true or not, that's just how I feel. So I start to think, and I'm like, you know, that's a red flag. The fact that I was turning him down, like, yeah, I'm only looking for friends, and he kept pushing the issue of wanting to be more than friends, and I'm like, yeah, that's just not a space that I'm in. Like, I was in a long time relationship and I didn't get to live, and then right after that I was in another situationship, and I just feel as though, you know, I just needed to breathe for me, to find myself. And when I tell you, like, he wasn't getting it, I mean, like, 3 weeks out, like, I'm responding to him, letting him know I'm not interested, and he still just will not take no for an answer. I'm like, yeah, this is just not gonna work for me. Like, one, you're a killer, for lack of a better word, accidental or not. And then two, you're not getting the hint. And then now I'm like, yeah, it's to the point where he's sending me messages for weeks on end and I am like not responding, and he's still sending me messages. I'm like, yeah, I gotta block you because this is low-key giving like creepy. Like, I mean, it's one thing to, you know, go to jail for something that may or may not have been accidental. I never actually found out if it was or if it wasn't. And it's another thing to not grasp the concept of someone doesn't want to talk to you to the point where they're telling you over and over they don't want to talk to you and you still don't get the hint. It's been a few years. I'm convinced if I unblock him, I'd probably get messages again. Like it was just, I don't know, it got creepy at the end. It really did get creepy. But that is the story time of how the killer tried to talk to me. If you guys stay tuned to this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, you know, help me grow. But that wraps this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.